us and mathematics. Is this not the place that we have to multiply? Hey, okay, calm down, calm your nerves. I will try my possible best as your friend to kind of bring it down in detail so that it will be easy for us to understand. So cardiac output, heart output. So cardiac output is the amount or the volume of blood ejected by the ventricle in 1 minute. Cardiac output is equal to stroke volume multiplied by heart rate. Okay. Stroke volume is the amount of blood ejected by the ventricle in one contraction, where cardiac output is in 1 minute. So in stroke volume, we are looking at what is the quantity of blood that we will have if the heart should contract. Now, if the heart should contract in a number of times for 1 minute, what is the volume of blood? That's when we're talking about cardiac output. Okay. Now, heart rate is the number of beats per minute. Number of beats per minute. Okay, let me give this instance. If we say for instance, 16 is equal to 2 times 8. That's to say, if I should have 2 kind of in 8 places, it will give me 16. That's the same thing here. So that volume of blood in one contraction, if I should have it in the number of heart rates, it will give me the cardiac output. I don't know if you get what I said. Okay, let's use the stroke volume on adults at rest is about 70 milliliters. Okay? And the heart rate is about 72 beats per minute. So, if I should have 70 ml of blood and I have a container pouring it in, 72 times is going to give me cardiac output, which is approximately 5 beats. You get it? So that's about this is how we have that the volume of blood for an average adult is about 5%. This is it. So I want to believe you, my friend, you understand this part. So if there is anything that should come out of here, we can be able to sort it out. Good. So, okay, let me do this. How I converted this. You know, this is in milliliter. How I converted this. I divided it by 1,000 and I have 5. So that's it. Cardiac output, stroke volume, and heart rate. So, now, what are the factors that affect cardiac output? If you would agree with me, anything that affects the stroke volume will affect the cardiac output. Anything that affects the heart rate will affect the cardiac output. So, let's look at factors that affect stroke volume, factors that affect heart rate, as they would affect the cardiac output. So starting with the stroke volume, the the volume of blood in the human body is one of the factors that will actually affect the stroke volume. Because if there is hemorrhage, for example, and the amount of blood in the entire system is reduced, believe me, the blood getting to the heart will be reduced, affecting the cardiac output. Venous return is another thing. If there is ischemia at any point, probably at the large, at the vena cava or the vein, inhibiting the flow of blood to the heart, reducing venous return, or hemorrhage too. It will affect stroke volume. It will affect cardiac output. The strength of myocardial contraction. So, if the heart cannot contract or contract with little force, okay, you would agree with me that contraction of the atria is to complete ventricular filling. Now, if the atria doesn't contract when these impulses are being sent, it will affect stroke volume. And another one I would like to talk about is also the ventricular end-diastolic volume. That's the blood in the ventricle before contraction. If the blood in the ventricle is not, if we have 60% of blood in the ventricle, you don't expect the ventricle to contract and jet 100% of blood. Where did you manufacture it? You get. So I kind of I call it BSVD, where we have venous return, ventricular end-diastolic volume, strength of myocardial contraction, and blood volume. BSVD. So that's the factors that affect stroke volume. Now, I want to look at factors that affect the heart rate. Beats in 1 minute. Autonomic nervous system, where we have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. I want to believe I've mentioned this in one of my videos. The parasympathetic will reduce the heart rate. That's brachydactyly. And the sympathetic will increase the heart rate. That's tachycardia. You see? So, autonomic nervous system will affect the heart rate, which will affect the cardiac output. Another thing is the circulation of chemicals. Example, hormones, drugs. Some people take drugs, hypersensitive people will take drugs to reduce this. You get? And another factor, age. Age is another factor. Children, they have higher heart rate than adults. Gender, women have higher heart rate than adults. Temperature, heart rate increases with temperature. So, factors that affect cardiac output, their heart rate. Can you still remember this? Okay, I made mention of autonomic nervous system. I made mention of circulation of chemicals, so it has to do with hormones and drugs. I talked of gender, age, and temperature. So that's it